It's 1 month since the tragedy visited Creeslough, and with the loss of 10 beautiful lives that gave so much joy to their families, to their friends and to their community. 14-year-old Leona Harper, who went into the shop to buy an ice cream, excited for the sleepover she was about to attend that evening. Robert Garway and his 5-year-old daughter, little Shauna Flanagan Garway, who had together gone into the shop to buy a birthday cake for their mother. Hugh Kelly, who had driven Shauna and her father Bob to the shop, a simple act of friendship that reflected his kindness and his generosity. Young Jessica Gallagher, who had embarked on her journey as a fashion designer and had just posted a card to her sister Lisa. James O'Flaherty, who had gone into the shop while his 12-year-old son waited in the car on the forecourt for his father's return. Catherine O'Donnell and her young son James Monaghan, who she just met off the school bus before they made their way into the post office. Martina Martin, a loving mother of 4, who was working that day, described as a friend to everyone and the mammy of the workplace. And Martin McGill, known for his kindness, he had gone into his shop that day running errands for his mother. Concordia, the deep loss that now reflects just how full and beautiful their lives were. They truly left their mark, and we remember them all. And our thoughts and prayers are with those who were injured that day and those who remain in hospital and also those who are recovering at home. The grief felt by their families in the community of Creeslough is the grief of this nation and indeed beyond its waves. Their loss is the loss for the nation. They have also offered us a glimpse of what the nation is and what it means through their bravery and through their strength, the instinct to help their neighbour with whatever resources were at their disposal. Many were local people without training or experience who found themselves in the middle of the rescue effort. The first responders who raced to the scene to offer help and comfort. Nurses and healthcare workers who lived locally and were driven by the innate sense of service. Father John Joe Duffy, the Rock, the Tower of Strength, himself a first responder who has provided so much support, comfort, consolation and indeed hope to the families and the community. Local businesses who opened their doors, offering their services and their premises to the first responders and others in the village. The guards, the fire services, Donegal County Council, so many others, first responders who were on the scene and who acted with such compassion and understanding, including those who rushed from the north to provide support to take part in the rescue efforts, and many of whom refused to leave right up to the end. A community which, despite the devastation of loss, has galvanised to support and comfort each other. But despite their strength and their resilience, they cannot do this on their own, I believe. We need to ask ourselves and we need to ask each other what the families and community of Creeslough need now and in the time ahead. Firstly, we need to respect their privacy. We also need to recognise that the physical hub of the community is destroyed. It lies in rubble. We need to listen to the community and we need to provide the infrastructure for them to ensure that the families affected and the community at large can begin the slow process of healing in the time ahead, providing the infrastructure that is needed, both physical and social. Counselling services must be available for a sustained period of time as and when they are needed for those that are affected by this tragedy, not only just within the community of Creeslough but further afield. And while the main road will reopen in the time ahead and the new shop will open its doors to service the community again, rivers of tears will continue to flow in the community of Creeslough and its hinterlands, because they've faced a great trauma, a tragedy that has deprived them of their loved ones in such sudden and tragic circumstances. In their grief, their love and support for each other, they have cast a light on the beautiful lives of each and every one of those who lost their lives, but also on the fragility of life and the strength of community. So, Concordia, I want to finish by quoting the words of wisdom spoken by Hamish, the son of James O'Flaherty. He told us, as we attended the funeral mass of his father, he said, "We should be grateful for your families, cherish them, for they won't be there forever. Use the time you have wisely," he told us, "and also be grateful for your life, for that too will not last forever. Be grateful, for you will be able to rest after your hard work." These words of Hamish have such power because they are the words of truth. So we remember them today: Leona, Robert, Shauna, Martin, Jessica, James, Hugh, Catherine, James and Martin. And we pray that their families and friends will find comfort in their grief. Gur maigad.